evening, folks. I'm sorry it's so late, and I do welcome you again to another episode of Spilling Tea. I want to thank you all again for bearing with me for taking a night off last night. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. So this episode is going to be about something I've touched on briefly before. That is another troll tactic that I like to call rewriting history. Alright, so you know how I have talked about this a little bit before in regards to AH in trying to rewrite what she said during that one interview in regards to donations. Well, it turns out, and who is surprised, that that's not the only area where, at very least, her stands are trying to rewrite history. So we're talking about the Elaine Barkin situation, which one of her trolls on Twitter by the name of Ash has decided to rehash for the upteenth time. So what are they saying about JD and his supposed violent past? Well, they are talking about a situation where it mentions that he threw a wine bottle. Now, for those who actually bother to read the actual transcript from the trial, what Elaine said was that he threw a bottle in her direction. Not intentionally, it was literally just him throwing a bottle. This is not out of character for him, as he's been known to only really be violent for inanimate objects. As an autistic, I can identify with this deeply. During most meltdowns, you wouldn't even believe the destructive power I have had on some of my inanimate objects. Let's just say I've had to replace some TVs and some couches in my younger years, and when I had a little bit less control over my destructive meltdown tendencies. So, what are they actually saying? They are saying that Elaine Barkin is saying he had a violent air about him, and they are trying to rewrite the whole throwing the bottle scenario. If they continued to actually bother to read the transcript, they would also read the part of the questioning where she stated, very clearly I might add, that he never caused her any physical harm, whether by throwing objects or laying hands on her. But these folks like to rewrite history, and they want to focus on the bottle thrown in her direction and that he had a violent air. But this isn't the only area where they want to talk about. It's also the made-up story of Kate Moss and how he supposedly pushed her down the stairs back in the 90s. Now, this is in reference to a picture we have of Kate Moss back in the day. When you see her down at the bottom of the stairs, she's kind of clinging to the rail where she fell, and she was slowly getting up. And what I noticed about this particular photo was that she had a death grip on a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. Now, riddle me this, Batman. If you push a person down the stairs, they are usually going to try and catch themselves like this. That means that cigarette pack and the lighter would not have been clenched in her fist. It would have been flung some way out on the floor. So, how could he have pushed her down the stairs with her obviously still clinging onto those cigarettes and that lighter and clinging onto the rail? It literally makes no sense. It was a picture taken out of context. So, once again, for those people who care to look and care about logic at all, it doesn't make any sense that anyone pushed her down the stairs. It looks like she just fell, and it doesn't look like she even fell down the stairs as much as it looks like she just missed a step and caught herself holding herself up on the rail and still clutching her cigarette pack and her cigarettes. What they are trying to do with this rewriting of history is they are trying to discount his history. They are trying to dirty up Deb in regards to his credibility, because hers is now officially in the toilet. If they can somehow call his credibility into question, then maybe folks won't hammer so hard on the fact that she lied about the donations. And what else has she possibly lied about? Well, the thing is, about these so-called incidents whose histories they're trying to rewrite, he's never even really said all that much, even if he said anything at all. He's always been a very private person, which is one of the reasons why she picked him out in the first place. Most of us neurodiverse, whether we're ADHD, autistic, dyslexic, or OCD, or any of the other ones that fall under this diagnostic umbrella, tend to keep to ourselves and like to keep our private lives private. So, this makes us number uno targets for narcissists just like Miss Heard. It also gives them the opportunity, unfortunately, if the people don't know better about their characters, to be able to rewrite moments from our history to fit their narrative. But the joke is on AH and her stance, because since then, things have come forward to give these moments in time actual context. So it's not going to work in this particular situation. What I would be interested to see is if they are going to go with what they usually do. When you hit them with facts like the one I did in regards to that staircase photo from the 90s, are they just going to block us and run as they normally do? And then once they block us, are they going to then proceed to comment and tell us what horrible liars and abuse apologists we supposedly are? That remains to be seen. I have a good majority of them blocked. I can only handle so much stupidity these days. It's been a rough last few days. So we'll definitely see what goes on there. Now, in regards to why I kind of went missing yesterday, there's something going on Twitter. I'm not going to go over it. I'm not going to mention any names. I just don't want to. I kind of want to regroup. I haven't been this close to a meltdown in a really, really long time. So at maybe some point I'll talk about it, some maybe not. Another part of it is due to improper so-called restraining of an autistic person. We did, unfortunately, just a few days ago, lose one of our own. No matter where they are in the world, every time I hear that we lose another person due to ignorance and incorrect procedures, it just shatters my heart. It really does. Because to me, every single person under that ND umbrella is my brother and my sister, and it feels that way whenever we lose somebody. Like Austin Anderson out here in Missouri, out in Polk County, which I can barely talk about. That it's saddening and infuriating. You can look that up if you like on Google. It's Austin Anderson, Polk County, Missouri, if you want to find out what happened there. Alright, folks, now that's all I got for this evening. Now, the one, the only, the General of Krypton, General Zod, is going to be coming on here in a little bit less than an hour. So make sure you get yourselves over to the General Zod fandom zone. Now, if you could, we don't get many views on this channel, and the few views we do tend to get removed by YouTube. So if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this evening, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.